So hi everyone. The light is not very favorable. I'm sitting directly in the sun. I have to check how to do this better. See if I can change it a little bit. Yeah, like this is much better. Hi. So I was thinking to make a review of the Black Sabbath Rhino series, of the Hi-Fi series. There's this beautiful new issue from the Rhino Hi-Fi series. Looks very nice. So I want to compare this with my other ones. So I have this UK first pressing. I compared it with the UK first pressing. This is an original UK first pressing on the Swirl label, and with the original US pressing, the so-called green labels. I show it better. So I listened to all three, and without further ado, before I now it should work again. Okay. Um, Without further ado, I want to say that if I would not have the US first pressing and the UK first pressing, I would say that the Rhino HiFi series is a very good pressing, a very good issue, a very good product in itself. It's very nice with the gatefold cover. I didn't put it out of the shrink because I will sell it later on. I will tell you why. So it's very nicely done. It has this kind of obi, and it's numbered. I don't see the number. The number is down in the behind this obi. There is the number. It's a numbered edition. So I was listening today extensively to all three, and like I said, if I would not have the other two pressings, I think I would, yeah, I would not be not be as much disappointed as I would be now. So without doing any offense, I was kind of a little shocked is maybe too heavy, but yeah, a little bit I was shocked. So I was listening to this one, and I started with side A with the well famous, wonderful title track, Black Sabbath, with the thunder and lightning and everything. And I realized something is strange, something is weird. So the thunder and lightning, of course, is very pronounced. So I don't want to make any offense to Mr. Kevin Gray. He did a very good job, very nice job, very beautiful. But it must now, I compared it to the UK first analog pressing and the US first pressing from Warner. So I was thinking, okay, now the thunder and lightning is very nice. The bell ringing is a little shrill-ish, a little too much high frequency in the bell and very loud also. So the thunder and lightning, I was thinking, okay, let's see how the sound will come now from this pressing when the thunder and lightning is finished and when the riffs and the drums and everything starts. So I was listening to the first song and immediately I thought, something is amiss, something is different, something is strange. I listened to it and I thought, okay, it's nice. The bass is there, the drums are there. But then I can give you an example. If you have a Dolby surround system, you have the front left, the front right, and you have the center speaker. So the music was just like it was coming from a center speaker without it was just there. So usually when I listen to music, I want to dive into the music. I want to see through and into the music. So to locate the drums and the guitars and the bass, to get some kind of three-dimensional feeling. My hi-fi system is able to do that. So I have a Technics 1200G with a Verter Saber cartridge into a Gold Note PH10, into a Name Audio, all these things. So without bragging, it's a pretty cool system. So I usually am able to have a nice 3D image of the music, a huge soundstage and everything I can look into, and it's nicely placed and beautifully presented. But here I was a little bit amazed that it came as one thing, and it just presented like it came from the center loudspeaker of a surround system, and I could not look really into the presentation which I was used. And unfortunately, when I go and when I want to listen to Black Sabbath, I usually grab, this is my autographed version from the original band members, by the way, bragging. So this is my go-to album, the original UK first pressing. So when I listened to it, and then when I listened to that one, I was thinking something is amiss, something is not correct. So I went on and I listened to the Wizard, and like 1.5 minutes maybe into Wizard, I had to stop. I had to stop the spinning. I had to stop the I had to stop the needle and lift it. I was annoyed because it was not how I used to listen to the Wizard and the harmonica and the sound of the drums. It was, I don't want to make an offense, but it sounded like a brick wall CD to me. It was like everything is front and center and nice, but it lacks this breathing atmosphere, this palpable, brutal presence of the analog UK swirl. So of course it's hard to recreate such a thing, but I want to give my honest opinion without diminishing the efforts of this production. But how it stands, because it's said cut from the analog master tapes, cut from the analog things. Yes, it sounds nice, but something is amiss. And if you own a UK first pressing, you know what I mean. When you listen to the UK first pressing, they are all standing before you in the living room, and there is air around. So I was thinking, I cannot listen to this. And for me, the higher end of the frequency and the upper mids are too much pronounced, too high, too much treble, too high frequency. So I thought, okay, I cannot really crank this like I can with the UK as well. So I said, okay, now I listen to a song and like maybe half of the Wizard. So I have to check, is something wrong with my stereo? So I put back on the UK swirl, and voila, the feeling came back. Everything is three-dimensional. All is in the living room. You can locate all the instruments. It has this beautiful, ominous dark. It is a little darker sounding, but not dark is not necessarily mean not detailed. It has this ominous dark sound. The bass and the drums and the guitars have this brutal, what constituted the metal, which founded the metal, which founded heavy metal, these brutal riffs and these beautiful bass tunes like Geezer Butler is bringing to life. Boom, and it goes down the octaves and it goes way down into the bottom end. So it was all there. The drums is there. So the difference I realized immediately is the representation of the drums and the bass. So the UK swirl has a fantastic presentation of drum and bass. The drums from Bill Ward are really there. You sit in front of his drum kit. It sounds analog like anything. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. This is my friend Patrick Pidithel, the vinyl archivist. He said it's palpable. The sound of the UK swirl is like you want to touch the music in the room without going crazy. So this three-dimensional projection of that beautiful analog production. It's not an hi-fi, it's not an audiophile recordings to start with, But the UK swirl is such a great representation of that live energy when they are in the studio, and you sit there and you can see into the whole soundstage. You can realize there's the bass coming there. It's beautiful air around the instrument, and I miss that when I listen to the Rhino. I miss this separation of the instruments. I miss this breathing air around the bass guitar, around the drums. So, and then I went on to the Wizard on the UK swirl, and it all came back. It is not muddled. It is not one. It is not coming just from the Sander speaker. It was the Wizard was all in the living room. The soundstage was much bigger, and I could really think, oh, okay, there is a difference. I don't know if they use compression. I'm not an expert. I don't want to say anything wrong if they used compression, but it sounded like that. Also, I had to pull down the volume level for the UK swirl. This is produced, I think the experts say, more hot, more loud, which not necessarily means high, but which not necessarily means a good thing. So I'm a little disappointed, because I thought, man, maybe it's a great thing, but I am maybe spoiled because I have the UK first pressing and the US first pressing. So I'm spoiled in that way. So when you are spoiled with such great recordings, yeah, Pablo Herzog, yeah. I say frankly, I will come to my conclusion at the end of the video. I will tell you the UK first still is much better than the German first. But the German first blows away the Rhino also. So yeah. Didn't you say the palm tree? No, the palm tree, the US pressing for Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, Volume 4. No. Volume 4 is the best pressing. For Volume 4 is the Porky Peckham swirl. So for Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, my favorite are the US first pressing and the Japanese first pressing for Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And the German for the debut album, for me the best one is definitely the UK swirl first pressing. It is a treasure to listen to it. So I think if I would have this record without knowing the UK swirl and without knowing the US first pressing, I would say, okay, it's a nice sounding record. It's good sounding. It's nothing overwhelming, honestly speaking, objectively speaking, but subjectively speaking, compared to the UK pressing and then later on to the Warner first pressing, the Warner Greenie, I was disappointed. So I was disappointed. So then I listened to the Wizard and NIB. I stopped again and then I put NIB, the intro, the bass guitar intro from Geezer Butler on the Rhino. And again, I thought it's too distorted. Something is not how I remember this intro. It's a little bit too distorted, too much in my face. So then the song started, and again, it was like it went like this again. It was like all in one place, all like coming in my face, not being able to locate stuff. It went from the three-dimensional image of the UK swirl again into this little diminished soundstage. And again, I don't like so much the drum sound and the guitar sound on this representation. I don't know. The guitar sound and the bass sound and the drum sound on the UK swirl is fantastic and much better, in my humble opinion, than on the Rhino. But if you only have the Rhino, who knows? Maybe you will love it. I don't know. It's excellent. Yeah, apples and orange, 100% Rhine. We really are comparing apples and orange, price perspective. Yeah, I bought the Rhino direct. Yes, I understand. I say it is excellent value for money. This I will say 100%. For what it's worth, this is a great pressing for the money. It's excellent value for money. But I would not even then I would not give 10 out of 10, not even 9 or 8. It's just like sound wise 7 out of 7, 6, 7 out of 10. So this would be my verdict, standalone with no comparison. 6, 7. I prefer the NEMS, Ryan. Sorry to say. So I give this a 7 maximum, if six between 6 and 7 standalone-ish. I will come to the greenie. Yeah, and then I put on the American first pressing, the greenie, like you say, and I immediately was glad that I have bought this American first pressing, because in my humble opinion it blows away the Rhino. Sorry, it has a much bigger soundstage. It has all these aspects in a little diminished form, like the UK swirl. Honestly speaking, the UK swirl and the American first pressing, they are not far apart. Both are not far apart. The US has a little less of that in your room palpable feeling, but it is not far behind the UK swirl. So price wise, the most excellent value for money for me personally is the Warner Greenie. The US first pressing is super excellent value for money if you can get this one. And for me, the recommendation would be, my best experience is the UK swirl first pressing. Second best would be the US Greenie first pressing, and the third I heard was the German first pressing on swirl. So these three are my favorite pressings of the Black Sabbath debut. And I don't know how this compares with the Ron McMaster. I might even think Ron McMaster's 2016, I think, Rhino reissue sounds a little bit better. It sounds not bad, but it doesn't sound like the UK. And I heard that Mr. Steve Westman gave the producer Kevin Gray a Vertigo copy. But how to do this if you have the US master tape and you have get the UK swirl, how to manage to make then some product similar to the UK swirl? I was hoping that it could be achieved, but now after listening, so please don't misunderstand me. I don't want to shit on this record. It's a solid 7 for me, 6, 7. Let's say on a good day it's a 7 out of 10 sound wise. But there are, yeah, for that is, I'm a little disappointed for an AAA cut. I thought there could be a little bit more, but this is just my humble opinion. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And like I said, when I listen to the UK swirl, which is of course a 6, 7, 800 euro record, but this is for some people very much out of the question money wise. But I got the fortune to find one not so expensive one, the autographed one with the autograph of all the band members, which I found pretty much less than 500. So yeah, I think 500 I paid. So this was worth for me, because the guy who owned this album, he never played it. It was played once, the wife said. So it is a absolute near mint. You hear nothing on that album, not a click, not a pop, nothing. So it was when I got this album, it was like now today. This is a very quiet vinyl, the Rhino Hi-Fi. I have to admit, beautiful Rhino vinyl. It's very quiet, very beautiful, and so was this. And this is a 55-year-old record, which I got in a really fantastic condition. It sounded the same, still sounds the same, like when I put this new one on in terms of pops and clicks and stuff. But sound-wise, this is 10 out of 10 for this production, in my humble opinion. This is how it was intended to sound. And the drums, the most thing I miss on the Rhino is the impact of the drums. So also what I wanted to say, that, you know, Mr. Kevin Gray, he did a fabulous job on the Paranoid. Paranoid can sound on some systems a little bit muddy, a little bit dark. I agree. But on my system, I love this dark sounding Paranoid. I also have the Big Bear Management UK swirl for Paranoid. And here, Kevin Gray really came very, very close to the UK first pressing. I love his 2006 reissue of the Paranoid, which sounds in my ears marvelous. It sounds not as good as the UK swirl, but it sounds very, very good. So I was expecting the same feeling when I put on the Rhino HiFi, but it's not the same. this the Paranoid breathes much more. It's much more there, much more palpable, much bigger soundstage. So then I put on the Warner Greenie. So, and again, I was amazed how good the Warner Greenie sounds. And you can get this for between $50 and $100 or euros. This is a very, very beautiful sounding album. This is really, really cool. If you cannot get the UK's world pressing, you will be in a fantastic shape with the beautiful shape Warner Greenie. This is a superb sounding album. I would, if I would have now the choice of $40 for this one or 60, 70 for that, for the Greenie, go for the Greenie. In my humble opinion, on my humble system, it sounds much, much better. The German swirl sounds better. I want to hear Ryan's opinion when he compares. I got him, I think, a NEMS Black Sabbath UK, early NEMS for Black Sabbath. I think that this is even, yeah, I will save it on my YouTube channel. I hope it will not be a problem. So, like I said, I don't want to shit on this album. It's a nice issue, a beautiful reissue, excellent value for money, nicely done. I would give it a sound-wise 6.5 out of 10. Let's make the compromise 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for this one. Let's say 7. It's a great sounding album, but as a lover of the UK swirl, and Frank, I agree. My request is this is if you want excellent value for money, go for the Greenie. The Warner, this is really a fantastic sounding album. The same three-dimensional soundstage, very much separation between the instruments. This is a banger. This is a really banger. 100%. I really favor this one. Oh, no longer. Okay, the VB Green Label are no longer. So yeah, I paid 45 euros for that. 45, I think, for this one. I found that in Germany. So I don't want to shit on this album or shit on this production. No way. This is not my intention. I just wanted to compare. And like Ryan said, we are comparing here, of course, price-wise, not the real things, but sound-wise, I wanted to see. And I'm selling this Rhino. If someone is interested, he can email me. I'm not selling the Discogs price is 250 and 180 euros. If someone wants to have the Rhino, I played it once now today. So if someone wants it, I sell it. I can sell it, no problem. Because I just wanted to see how it fares compared with the Warner Greenie and the UK swirl. So yeah, like I said, the Paranoid reissue from Kevin Gray was awesome. I loved it. So therefore, I immediately said, yeah, okay, I want to have this Black Sabbath Rhino debut from him. So he did a great job. But like I said, if you have these two, if you have these two at home, the UK and the Warner Greenie, honestly speaking, I don't want to. Yeah, David Barnes, I understand. I'm glad. I'm not saying that you cannot be happy with this. This is all a very subjective impression. But like I said, if I would come to your house now with the UK swirl and we would put this on and then the Rhino, I think you would at least tend to agree with my impression. If you have a good system, 100% you will agree. And if you find the Warner Greenie first pressing in your surroundings for a little bit money, get it and check it. It's I say you're in for a treat. If you are happy with that and you don't need any further, no problem. I don't want to say that you should send it back or you should sell it. No. If you are happy with this reissue, all the best. But I cannot be, because I still have this impression of the UK swirl. So it was fun for me just to do the comparison. I didn't buy it because I need it. So I got my Warner Greenie from you and it sounds great. Yes, this is the one from Rawhead Jim. I gave you the one from Ron McMaster, and I think I think it sounds a little better than this Rhino Hi-Fi. I had this Ron McMaster, I think it's from 2016, the Greeny reissue, and it sounds very good. I agree. So I'm a little disappointed on this matter. I got the Paranoid German Swirl, and I got a bit disappointed, to be honest. Yeah, I understand. I understand. The German Paranoid is not one of the best German swirls. Go for the UK swirl or the UK NEMS. The German Paranoid, it lacks a little bit in the power of the UK swirl. So I can recommend. I have a video on my channel. I can recommend for this one. I can recommend UK swirl first, Warner Brothers US first, Greeny number 2, German swirl number 3. For Paranoid, UK swirl, then Kevin Gray, and all the later names from Paranoid are also fantastic. And the US first pressing of Paranoid sounds also pretty good. For Master of Reality, you take the UK swirl, and then the German swirl sounds. The German swirl of Master of Reality is not far behind the UK swirl. And for Volume 4, you take the Peckham Duck, Poiky Peckham Duck, Volume 4 swirl. The French swirl is great from Volume 4, and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, you need the US first pressing and the Japanese first pressings. I have the UK NEMS. Yes, David. The NEMS, the later NEMS pressings of Black Sabbath sound fantastic because usually they have blades from the swirls. So from the first pressings. Yeah, I agree. So therefore I'm saying I was expecting a little bit more. I was expecting a little bit more because I know how it can sound. If you drive a Ferrari, I think it's hard to drive a Fiat Uno. I don't say it's a Fiat Uno, but you know what I mean. I don't want to be rude. I still appreciate the effort, and no offense to those who are involved in this project. All glories to you for the effort to bring out an AAA album. Very nice for someone who cannot afford a big one like the UK Swirl or the Paranoid Quad Mix I also like. So if you really want the experience of the UK Swirl, go for the American first pressing, the US Greeny, and you have a beautiful, beautiful, yeah. The Master of Reality US pressing I never heard because I only heard the UK first and the German first, and then it was okay for me. I didn't see the need to get the American Master of Reality because the German swirl and the UK swirl, they blow you away. So I stopped there. I was not super happy with Sabbath Bloody Sabbath WWA UK first pressing. So PBThel, my good friend Patrick, he immediately said get the US first pressing. So I got it. It sounds marvelous. Bellman did a fantastic Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, but now my first top ranking would be the Japanese Vertigo Spaceship label first pressing of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. It sounds even a little bit better for me than the US first pressing on the palm tree. So please forgive me if I did something wrong. I have not heard that. Master of Reality Vinyl Me, please. I heard opinions about it, so I was less interested to get it because I again heard the high frequencies are pronounced. I don't like the high frequency pronounced, so the Master of Reality should sound as it was intended. It is a dark, ominous sounding album. So Master of Reality, you cannot get anything better than the German and the UK as well. This is my opinion. Patrick, PBThel, and many others confirmed. So I was not interested in Vinyl Me Please. I thought if you have, I think we talked about that you can get me one, but now if it's not possible, no problem. I'm not so interested anymore because, like I said, I have the German swirl and the UK swirl, and they are absolutely stunning. So altogether, I resume conclusion. It's a great album. I give it 7 out of 10 for the sound. But like I said, I expected a little bit more. So yeah, this is my humble impression. I missed the analog feeling I get when I sit down and when I listen to the UK swirl. And man, to find this first pressing in autographed version, I was lucky to find this one. And this is for me the Non Plus Ultra I never heard this album better. I had the Rhino from Ron McMaster. I have like the German Swirl. I had the Spiegel Eye. I had the NEMS. I had like 5, 6 of the debut album, but nothing ever touched the UK first pressing except for the US first pressing. This comes really, really close. So I hope I didn't offend anyone. So for those who are not interested in the original, this is a good, excellent value for money pressing reissue. But if you want the taste of the originals, go for the UK Swirl or the later UK NEMS and the US Warner Greenie. Thank you so much for your attention, and I apologize if I ruined someone's enjoyment. I didn't want that. I'm not the guy who wants to shit on others. If you are happy with this Rhino, all the best. But if I would have bought it now, and this would be, I would not be super happy. This is my honest opinion. But everyone is free to have his opinion. We still live in a free country world, it seems. So, like I said, all glories to Mr. Kevin Gray for the efforts of releasing an all analog project. Thank you for this. I like to listen to it, but I still prefer the older ones. Thank you. Yeah, kind of. Sabotage pressing, for me, the best one is the UK first pressing. But Sabotage is not an album I often listen to. So what I heard, I had the German and the UK, so I preferred the UK first pressing over the Sabotage. Don't ask me about Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die. I don't like these albums. Maybe some songs on them, but for me, Sabbath kind of stopped after Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and came back with Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. So Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die, yeah, it's okay, but not really mind-blowing like the other ones. The 5 first Sabbath are 10 out of 10 albums, and then they, yeah, you know the biography in Sabotage already. It seemed that they wanted to split, and then they did. So thank you for your attention. Again, it's just my opinion, just my humble opinion, my comparison to this. So a little disappointed, but I understand if someone is happy with that. If someone is happy with it, of course, but one has to be honest. If you don't have anything to compare it to, you always are still in this. Yeah, you will like it very much because you don't have anything to compare to. And of course, it can also be that you prefer it to the ones I showed. So anyone is free to express the subjective opinion. Sure. Thank you and have a wonderful day.